Welcome back, traders. I'm going to talk about NIO Stock, ticker NIO, in the EV sector, and you're going to learn why this is a long-term trading opportunity based on supply and demand. So, like I said, I'm going to dive into this NIO Stock analysis. If you stay until the end of the video, you're going to learn a few things, hopefully. And this is an exciting one because NIO Stock is reacting from these strong demand level on the monthly time frame. You can see in the middle of the screen 1M, and this stands for 1 month of time. So every single candlestick is a month of time, 31 days of trading. Well, less because the weekends is the market is closed, but you know what I mean. So these imbalance gains control, and it's been rallying for a couple of months already. And this is a textbook example of how supply and demand trading works. And it's shaping as, well, it's not shaping, it's already shaped, okay? It's gonna break higher as a really very attractive swing long-term trading setup in the EV sector right now. So this is supply and demand. And if you've never heard about it, you should research this, because you will probably be selling into supply or selling into demand. Sorry, I'm buying into supply. So what I mean is that when price drops down there, if you are unaware of these demand level, and probably you have here bad or negative news, okay, I'm gonna sell, I'm gonna scalp on the way down, selling option strategies or whatever, scalping on the way down, and then suddenly it reverses. Why? Because you aren't aware of these super strong monthly demand level at $3.50 in NIO Stock. So, like I said, NIO Stock recently kissed this demand level at 341, and this is the level where institutions step in with big orders, and the result are two large candlesticks with large candlestick bodies, or ERCs, extended range candles, that tell us that there are big institutions there, there are long-term traders interested in buying NIO and breaking these highs and then create a long-term trade setup. So from here, as you can see, we can see price action shows a very clear attempt to push higher, and this could be the beginning of a long-term investment opportunity. So while most retail traders go or use the smaller time frames on the 1 hour, 50-minute to trade, you are positioned using the bigger time frame. So here on the 1 hour, before this demand level on the monthly was reached, it was printing lows and new lows and new lows and new lows again and again, and then suddenly it reverses. Why? Why did it reverse? Because this demand level on the monthly at 341 was reached. And that's the reason, if you are using the smaller time frames, like the 1 hour or even the daily, right? Let's take a look at the daily. When you take a look at the daily, we had like lows and new lows and new lows, and suddenly we have a very strong rally over there. Why? Printing highs above this. Why? Because the demand level right here, if I zoom out, all this gains control. Okay, so what happens in the smaller time frames? Well, and weekly is a smaller time frame. We had a supply level over there. So when price reaches the demand level on the monthly, which is this proximal line at 341, look at the strength here, new bullish price action, and then that supply level is reached, and you say, wow, I should close the trade. Well, you shouldn't. You should be managing it, okay? The trade in NIO Stock. But what happens? 2 months later, price drops, and what could you be thinking? Oh, NIO Stock reached the entry point at 341. This is going to go lower. I'm going to have a loss. No way. I'm going to close the trade, and then it reverses and it rallies again. But remember, the stop loss shouldn't be here. The stop loss should be based on the monthly, right there. So if you take a trade like this one on NIO, okay, I'm going to extend it. Okay, it already reached, you already tripled your investment if you take the trade here and protect it here. Okay, so like I said, most retailers get trapped chasing headlines, indicators, oscillators, trying to scalp the 1 hour chart, a 5-minute chart, okay? There are gaps and gaps. These are opening, okay? Every time the market opens, usually there is a gap. Probably today, well, today's the pre-market is at 648, so it looks like it's not going to pre-gap, at least today, and to gap, sorry. So most traders are using the smaller time frames, and they are unaware or disregard completely the huge long-term bigger time frames, where the real wealth is built. So NIO's stock reaction from this demand level is a clear signal, a textbook signal that patient traders may be and will be rewarded with a swing trading rally and hopefully some nice money. So like I said, if you go to the daily time frame, which is a smaller time frame, although for you probably will be the largest time frame ever, and the monthly will be like science fiction to you. And so on the day time frame, new demand levels will be forming as price goes up, like this one over here, okay, probably this one over here, and there's another one over here. So but price has not pulled back, at least to this one or this one, because the larger one, the monthly time frame, has a lot of strength, and when that gains control and it starts to print large candlestick bodies, it's very difficult for price to drop and correct to the smaller time frames. Obviously the 1 hour and 50-minute, yes, but not on the daily and weekly and large time frames that we want to use to trade, so we can set and forget, because this is set and forget. You set your trade and forget about it. You've got a life, you've got a wife probably, or a husband, children, a work, full-time job, blah blah blah, and you don't have time to babysit the trade in smaller time frames, unless you are a teenager or you've got a lot of money and a lot of patience. Okay, so if you are more strategic, you don't need to chase these candles. You use supply and demand, and you can buy shares of NIO stock here. As I said, it has tripled your investment already, or you can hold it for the next few months, because this is going to happen. These resistance levels are going to be broken in the following months. Or you can use NIO stock option strategies like LIPs to buy time instead of babysit the trade, or babysitting the trades and the charts all day long. And this is what we should love about supply and demand. This is what I love about supply and demand price action trading, because it gives you clarity, it keeps you away from the noise, because whatever, I mean, this can be clearer than this. I mean, this is the strongest impulse ever on NIO. Okay, 3-4 consecutive large extended range candles, and then it took 5 years, because this happened in June 2020. So it just took it took 5 years. That doesn't mean that you cannot trade NIO. Okay, on the way down there are many ways to trade NIO, but right now, when this imbalance gains control last April 2025, longs is the way to go. So you can buy shares of the stock, of NIO stock outright. You can buy stock option strategies, LIPs, long terms. You can buy CFDs, whatever you want, but buying. And a new demand level is being created here, around 420 more or less. Okay, so patience is super important, as you already know, and I have been talking about in my videos for ages, for years. So because patience over addiction is a problem, okay? Because let's be real, intraday trading can ruin your life. Most people have jobs, like I said, and you just cannot babysit the trade on the smaller time frame, because it just drops like this, and then you need to pay attention to it for hours every day. So if you've got a job, a family, hobbies outside of staring all at the charts all day, swing trading or long-term trading on NIO on the monthly demand level are new weekly demand levels, like this new one here. It could drop out $5, 6 cents in the following weeks. Let's see if that happens. So new levels are being created that will provide us with new trading opportunities. There's another one over here, even stronger. So, and this is all happening because the demand level on the monthly gains control, and it's been creating two large extended range candles, large candlestick bodies that, and price action together with supply and demand is a very powerful tool that will allow you to plan trades, long-term, swing, even shorter-term positions. But the larger the time frame, the higher its reliability. So you can set and forget your trade and let the market work for you. So as I always say, patience is the secret ingredient here. It doesn't matter which strategy you are using. If you have no patience and you are chasing out trades, you are going to let greed take whatever it wants from you. Your greed will want instant profits, but patience is what builds consistent returns. So this setup at 380 more or less is not about chasing intraday volatility. It's about sitting on your hands and letting this imbalance play out. So the bottom line for NIO is that this is the strongest imbalance ever. This is the strongest impulse ever for this stock in the EV sector. Price is bouncing from 341 in my level in the monthly, and this is triggering a huge swing trading rally. So the whether you buy shares outright here or lower when it reaches the weekly man level, or structure long-term NIO option strategies, this trading setup for NIO has the potential to reward patient traders like you. So remember, supply and demand, always tell the story. Don't get caught up in the news or short-term trading in the smaller time frames. You can do that, obviously. But if you are unaware of these imbalances, you're going to run into trouble in your short-term intraday stock trading. So don't get caught up in the news or short-term noise. Instead, let the bigger time frames like this monthly demand level here and the weekly demand levels that are being created when they gain control guide your trading decisions. So if you enjoy this NIO stock forecast and prediction analysis for using supply and demand, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. And hopefully this will continue to rally or even pull back a little bit to give us another entry in the smaller time frames. Have a great day.